Good day, everyone. I'm Austria Kittingel, and my topic is scientific principles and materials. So, for our learning objectives, at the end of the lesson, students should be able to first, to understand the scientific evidence. Second, to analyze and evaluate scientific evidence. And the last, to be able to select appropriate materials for specific applications. So, ano nga ba ang scientific principles and materials? Sabi dito, ang scientific principles and materials refers to the fundamental ideas and concepts that guide scientific research alongside the physical substances or tools used to conduct experiments based on those principles. Essentially, it means the underlying scientific knowledge that informs the selection and use of materials in an experiment or study. Using the scientific method. This means that every fault should be investigated to determine the root cause rather than solving what at first is thought to be the problem or fault. The root cause is the true cause of a failure, which may not be noticed at first. Many service technicians ask themselves why when they discover a fault. The scientific method of finding root cause of an automotive problem is often called the five whys. In my next slide, I'll talk about it. And this is the examples of the five whys. The first is what caused the battery to become discharged? These questions requires observation and the creating. And the second why is why did the battery become discharged? This means that a battery ignition of drain test needs to be performed as well as testing of the charging system. And the third is why is the accessory drive belt still loose? The charging system was found to be not working correctly. And the fourth is why was the accessory drive belt loose? The cause could be a defective tensioner. And the fifth or last is one of the tensioner retaining bolts loose. If the accessory belt and belt tensioner were okay, then further investigation will be needed to find the root cause. Torque. Torque is the term used to describe a rotating force that may or may not result in motion. Torque is a measure of how much a force can cause an object to rotate. It can involve both the amount of force applied and the distance from point of application to the axis of rotation. And this is the example of torque. Work. Work is defined as is actually accomplishing movement when force is applied to an object. A service technician can apply torque to a bolt in an attempt to loosen it. Yet no work is done until the bolt actually moves. Work is calculated by multiplying the applied force by distance the object moves. Energy principles. Energy is the ability or the capacity to do work. There are many forms of energy, but chemical, mechanical, electrical energy are the most familiar kinds involved in the operation of an automobile. And this is the sample of energy principles: heat and light, mechanical, chemical, and sound. And horsepower. The power an engine produces is called horsepower. 1 horsepower is the power required to move 550 pounds 1 foot in 1 second or 33,000 pounds 1 foot in 1 minute. Horsepower is expressed as 500 foot-pound per second or 33,000 foot-pound per minute. The actual horsepower produced by engine is measured with a dynamometer. And this is the sample of horsepower. Power. The term power means the rate of doing work. Power equals work divided by time. Work is achieved when a certain amount of mass is moved a certain distance by a force. Power is expressed in units of foot-pounds per minute. And next is Newton's law of motion. Sir Isaac Newton was an English physicist and mathematician who developed many theories of science, including three laws of motion. The first law of motion states that an object at rest tends to stay at rest and an object in motion tends to stay in motion unless acted on by an outside force. For example, it requires a large force to get a vehicle that is stopped into motions. And the second law of motions states that the force needed to move an object is proportional to the mass of the object multiplied by the acceleration rate of the object. This means that it requires a great deal more force to accelerate a heavy sports utility vehicle than a small economy vehicle. And for the third is law of motion states that for every action there is an opposite and equal reactions. The opposite action is applied to the cylinder head of the engine and applies the same force all out this part is designed not to move. And next is kinetic energy. Kinetic energy is a fundamental form of mechanical energy. It is the energy of mass in motions. Kinetic energy is a form of energy that an object or a particle has by reason of its motions. Kinetic energy is a property of a moving object or particle and depends not only on its motions but also on its mass. And this is the picture of sample of kinetic energy. And this is the formula of kinetic energy. The m is mass or weight of the vehicle in pounds, and v is velocity of the vehicle in miles per hour, and e is kinetic energy in foot-pounds. So, katulad nga ng sabi dito, if a 3,000 pound vehicle traveling at 30 miles per hour is compared to a 6,000 pound vehicle also traveling at 30 miles per hour as shown in picture. The equations for computing their respective kinetic energies look like this. So the results show that when the weight of vehicle is doubled from 3,000 to 6,000 pounds, its kinetic energy is also doubled from 90,301 foot-pounds to 180,602 foot-pounds. In mathematical terms, kinetic energy increases proportionally as weight increases. In other words, if the weight of a moving object doubles, its kinetic energy also doubles. If the weight quadruples, the kinetic energy becomes 4 times as great. And next is inertia. Although brake engineers take both weight and speed capability into account when designing a brake system, these are not the only factors involved. Inertia also affects the braking process and the selection of brake components. And the next one is mechanical principles. The, prin- the primary mechanical principle is used to increase application force in every brake system in leverage. In the science of mechanics, a lever is a simple machine that consists of a rigid object, typically a metal bar that pivots about a fixed point called fulcrum. And there are three basic types of levers. The first lever is a first class lever increases the force applied to it and changes the direction of the force. With a first class lever, the weight is placed at one end with the lifting force is applied to the other. And the second class lever is increases the force applied to it to it and passes it along in the same direction with a second class. Fulcrum is located at one end while the lifting force is applied in another. And at a third-class lever actually reduces the force applied to it, but the resulting forces moves farther and faster with a third-class lever. The fulcrum is located at one end and the weight is placed at the other. And for the next is and the force applied to the master cylinder by the pedal pushrod attached to the pivot is much greater than the force applied at the pedal pad, but the pushrod does not travel nearly as far. And for the next is heat and temperature. Heat and temperature are related but are not the same. Temperature is the intensity of the heat source, where heat is the quantity of heat. For example, the heat from a match and a large fire may measure the same temperature, but the amount of heat generated by the fire is far greater than the amount of heat generated by a single match. And next is heat. Heat, heat is measured in units called British thermal units, abbreviated BTUs. A BTU, 1 BTU is the amount of heat needed to raise the temperature of 1 pound of water 1 degree Fahrenheit. Heat is, for example, room heaters and air conditioners are rated in how many BTU or British thermal units per hour can be added heater or remove air conditioner from space in 1 hour. Conduction. Sa conduction is example is if one end of a steel bar is heated, then the heat will travel by conduction toward the coo- toward the colder areas of the bar. Next is convention. Convection. Convection is sample where hot gas balloon causes it to rise above the surrounding cooler air. And radiation is sample heat from the sun is transmitted through the atmosphere where it hits the ground. And next is temperature. Temperature is the measurement of the ability to give up or absorb heat from another body. Heat always flows from a warmer object to a colder object. Celsius. Celsius is the Celsius scale was devised by taking the freezing point and the boiling point of water and dividing it into 100 equal parts. Fahrenheit is the Fahrenheit scale was developed by Gabriel Fahrenheit, a German physicist who proposed the scale in 1724. He wanted to avoid using negative numbers, so the scale had 0 degrees, representing the coldest outside air temperature. Here's the sample of picture of thermometer. Ito po yung may mga number. And next is acids and bases. Acids and bases. Acids are substances that can corrode metals and some can cause severe burns to the skin. Common household acids that are not harmful and taste sour include vinegar and lemon juice. The stronger acids include is hydrochloric acid, and next is nitric acid, and last is battery acid. Bases. A base is a substance that can also burn the skin if strong enough and is also referred to as alkaline. 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 Common household bases are generally not harmful unless eaten and have a bitter taste. The example is lye or sodium hydroxide and bleach, drain cleaner. And for the next, gas law. Gas law are a set of characteristics that describe how gases act and the relationship between their temperature, pressure, and volume. Boyle's law. Boyle's law was first written in 1662 by Robert Boyle and describes the relationship between volume and pressure of a gas in a closed container. Boyle's law states that the volume of a gas varies inversely with the pressure exerted against it in a closed container. And for Charles' law was first first formulated about 1787 by a French scientist, Jacques Charles. According to Charles' law, when the temperature of a gas increases, the volume increases. And when the temperature of a gas decreases, the volume decreases. Sound and acoustic. Sound is the movement of air which the ear interprets as a sound. Sound travels through the air, which is called propagation. Propagation of sound is normally to be only transmitted through air, but liquids can also transmit sound waves. Frequency is called the pitch of the sound and is measured in hertz or cycles per second. And next is intensity. The intensity of sound, which is also called loudness, is measured in describes decibels, named for Alexander Graham Bell. Graham Bell is the inventor of the telephone. And acoustics is the study of sound and how it is generated and transmitted. Acoustic engineers are employed by vehicle manufacturers to help reduce noise and designing. And by acoustic, according to acoustics engineers, about 80% of the noise created by the movement of the tires on the road is transmitted. Is transmitted through the chassis and body of the vehicle. And next is plastics. Thermoset plastic. This type of plastic is changed chemically when cured and shaped and cannot be reheated or reformed. The sample is the sample of thermoset plastic is rubber is an example of a thermoset plastic material that cannot be remelted and reformed after curing. And next is thermoplastic. This type of plastic is flexible at room temperature. And thermoplastic can be recycled by grinding it into pieces and remolding it into another shape. And plastic identification. While it is not important for the average service technician to determine what kind of plastics being, the plastic identification example is interior plastic parts can be made from the following plastic materials. The sample of picture is here. This is the plastic identification. And next is iron and steel. Iron is a chemical element with a symbol of Fe. It is one of the most commonly available elements on Earth and is refined from iron ore. The main difference between iron and steel is the amount of carbon. Cast iron. Cast iron contains 2% to 4% carbon, and this carbon is usually in the shape of flakes or of graphite 0.001 to 0.004 inch long. Cast iron is used in many automotive applications, including engine blocks and etc. And next is ductile cast iron. In ductile iron, the carbon in the alloy with silicon are small base shapes called is- spheroids. Ductile iron is also called malia- malleable iron and is used to make crankshafts. And next is gray cast iron. Gray cast iron is cast iron that has another element, silicon, in the alloy, giving the metal a gray color. Gray cast iron is used for engine blocks. And next is say steel say steel designations. Steels are designed by a system established by the Society of Automotive Engineers and includes number to indicate the main element used in the alloy plus the points of carbon. Say steel designation is the percentage of carbon in steel has a huge input on the strength and characteristics of the steel. The first is mild, has less than 20 points of carbon. Mild steel is a soft and easily formed but is not very strong. Mild is a common usage of low carbon steel in tables and chairs and vehicles body parts where strength is not an issue. And medium carbon steel is usually has between 25 and 50 points of carbon. This type of steel can be heat treated to create steel that is ductile and yet has good strength. In medium use, this type of steel is usually used in forgings and machine components. And for the high bond carbon steel naman is usually has between 60 and 100 points of carbon and is very strong. It commonly used in vehicle springs and can be hardened. High carbon steel it is commonly used in vehicle springs and can be hardened. And then and next is aluminum and aluminum alloys. Aluminum and aluminum alloys that are mechanical shape are called root alloys and are labeled according to the International Alloy Designation System. The system uses a four-digit number which identifies the alloying elements followed by a dash and then a letter identifying the type of heat treatment. And aluminum alloys is aluminum is pure metal elements, while an aluminum alloy is a mixture of aluminum with other elements like copper, magnesium, or silicon. And that's all for my topic. Thank you for listening, everyone.